Today we review the 2013 Toyota RAV4 XLE all-wheel drive crossover. The car comes equipped with a 2.5-liter inline four-cylinder engine producing 176 horsepower and 172 foot-pounds of torque. Along with its 3,570-pound curb weight, leads to an 8.2 second 0 to 60 time. With a 22 miles per gallon city and 29 miles per gallon highway rating, you won't have to break the bank on gas expenditures. And hey, it doesn't look half bad. First thoughts on the car, when climbing into it, I was pretty stunned by the interior, to be honest. The trim, instead of having like a normal aluminum looking trim, is actually fake carbon fiber that actually, it doesn't look cheesy at all. The entire dash is very cool, something I haven't really seen before. It has an awesome backup camera with guidelines that tell you where the car is going to go, which is something that a lot of much more expensive cars don't have to offer. This is Toyota's crossover SUV. So it's not a Highlander, it's not their big SUV, it's not a Sequoia, but it's got a lot more space in it than their Camry sedan. I mean, the headroom's great, the cargo space looks great, and overall, I think this is a pretty good looking car. Special thanks to Novato Toyota for letting me drive this car. Very great place. If you end up liking this car after this review, you can pick it up there now for $27,116. And I was thinking about that number when I looked at the window sticker, $27,000. That's a lot of money. However, it is a new car, so it's you're no longer looking for the best depreciation deal when you buy a car like this. When you buy a new car, it comes with warranty. A new Toyota is going to be exceptionally reliable. It's pretty fuel efficient for an SUV. For $27,000, you could probably get a used Porsche Cayenne Turbo for that amount of money. But the difference is, this car, you're going to drive it off the lot, and one, it won't take nearly as big as a depreciation hit as a brand new, very expensive German car would have. So maybe in a few years, instead of this being $27,000, it might be $23,000, but it won't drop half its value the second you roll it off the lot. But unlike the Cayenne, when you drive this car, your yearly maintenance cost could be zero. And even once you get out of the warranty, it still could be close to zero. I know people who have brand new Toyotas, Siennas, Tundras, and things do not break. The only thing that you need to worry about maintenance-wise is replacing the tires and getting new brakes and oil changes. It's not a car that's going to have electrical issues that cost thousands and thousands of dollars. The fuel injectors don't go out. The spark plugs don't just burn up. It doesn't have an extremely expensive double clutch transmission that could cost you 40 grand to replace it. It's a car that you can feel great about driving because you know that once you've spent this money up front, you're not going to have to spend it again. And like newer SUVs, they all get so much better gas mileage than they used to. Part of that comes from more efficient engines. This has got a 2.5-liter inline four-cylinder engine. Another part of it comes from weight reduction. You know, as technology progresses more and more, cars are made more out of aluminum, more out of lightweight materials, not so much carbon or magnesium in a case of a car like this, but the lighter they can get the car and still keep it really safe, the more fuel efficient they can get it. And if they can keep the cost down, the weight down, and the safety up, cars are just going to get better and better. The space in this car is great, it's not huge by any means. It doesn't seem like you're driving a very big car at all. It's kind of just like a little bit higher off the ground sedan. The visibility in this car is like a typical Toyota. It's fantastic. The A-pillars in the front are very thin, the rear view mirror is very large, and when you look over your shoulder, you see cars, you see the surrounding environment. You don't see the interior of the car, you're not blocked by anything, which can be dangerous because you don't want to crash your new car. Let's test out the acceleration here. So look, it's an SUV with 179 horsepower. You're not expecting it to have a lot of power, but you do want a car that can get you out of trouble if you need to accelerate to get out of the way of a car swerved in your lane or something. And it does have that amount of power. It's fine. It's not exciting, but you don't buy an SUV like this to be exciting. A common complaint of the older generation, the prior generation, RAV4 was rattling in the rear seats. And people were dumbfounded about how could you build this car. I mean, it's a relatively expensive car. It's not a $14,000 SUV. You're spending in the high 20,000s if you want four-wheel drive and you want the XLE package, which is their middle of the road SUV. The Limited is the high end. But people were wondering, you know, how could they possibly have seat rattle that would annoy your passengers in the back? And that was something that would be fixed on the Lexus alternative, but you're paying a big premium for Lexus. I'm not sure if that was some kind of sales pitch to get you to go, well, yeah, you love this RAV4, but, you know, the rattle, yeah, that annoys me too. Well, if you buy a Lexus, you know, another 20, 30 grand, and, oh, you don't have that rattle. But they've seemed to have fixed that, and that is excellent. The TAC and Speedo are very simple, not really exciting there at all. It's got an eco mode and a sport mode. So I was in eco mode. I'm gonna guess that has mostly to do with throttle response. Yep. So in sport mode, you give it a little bit less gas and you get more acceleration out of it. In eco mode, limits the throttle a little bit, so you have to press it farther down in order to get the same amount of acceleration as normal, in order to promote more fuel-efficient driving. In a car like this, I would probably always drive in eco mode. I don't really see the point of a sport mode in this car. It's not a sporty car, but you know, it's all personal preference. You can still get the same gas mileage in sport mode. It's just you gotta adjust your foot. Like all new cars, it comes with Bluetooth audio and an auxiliary port and a USB port so that you can charge your iPhone, which is excellent. I'm a very big promoter of buying cars used because cars do depreciate a lot and you can save yourself a lot of money if you are not the one who drives it off the lot. But a lot of perks come with buying a new car. 2013 technology is better, no matter what arguments you have against it, than 2012 technology or 1999 technology. So you're going to get a reliable car, more fuel efficient, more bells and whistles that come standard. And hey, I like the way this car looks. A lot of crossovers look terrible, and this not only doesn't look terrible, I think it looks pretty good. So if you've got any more questions, please visit www.vehicle-virgins.com. Any questions regarding first car buying advice or what the right car for you should be, please feel free to browse our channel, subscribe, that would be awesome. We're posting videos like this several times a week, so stay tuned. Alright, and once again, special thanks to Novato Toyota for letting me drive this car. It's a great car, and if you do like it, they've got an excellent warranty program, and you can pick it up for $27,116. Alright, take care.